Welcome back to another episode of Two in the Cooler, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for tuning in and subscribing to the YouTube, checking out the Instagram, and all that good stuff. If you want to support the show even further, I got a hot tip for you. Something that you can do to actually benefit yourself, and that is to check out the merch, because we have got the best fucking merch in the game. I'm talking hoodies, mugs, fanny packs, bucket hats, pint glasses, those cool metal water bottle things, all kinds of other great stuff on there, and my personal favorite, the t-shirts. Because these are not those shitty-ass t-shirts that you get from other shows where people buy them and then, print something on them and sell them real fast or whatever for like a huge markup so they can make money. No. Okay, we take pride in our t-shirts here, all right? That's why the t-shirts that you are going to get at our merch site are tri-blend material. That's 3 materials, folks, okay? That is Target quality merchandise as far as the t-shirts go, and the hoodies and everything else. Super comfortable, super soft. The pint glasses are great, everything. We got mugs as well. You can find all that stuff at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. Things not just for this show, but also for Schemin' and Dreamin' and Quested, the 2 other podcasts that we produce right here in this studio. So if you want to do yourself a favor, okay, get yourself a little something nice, why not treat yourself, okay? And check out snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. The link is going to be in this episode description. Make it nice and easy for you. The link is also going to be in our Instagram bio, so go and check that out. People, you got enough stress in your life. Why are you adding to it by taking yourself to the grocery store, okay? Because look, you gotta eat, but why grocery stores? They're the absolute worst places to be. The parking lots are a fucking mess, and then you get inside, it's an absolute nightmare. People are ramming their carts into each other. People are their worst selves at the grocery store. I'm 100% convinced of that. That's why you can avoid them altogether by using Instacart, because with Instacart, you can get not just groceries, but some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. And the best part is, right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you gotta do is spend $10, and Instacart will deliver whatever you're looking for absolutely free right to your front door. All you have to do to get that deal is hit the link that's in this show description and start making things easier on yourself, okay? And use Instacart. And if you're interested in advertising on this show or our twin show, Schemin' and Dreamin', or the other show that we produce here, Quested, you can reach out to us. Email snackspotsports@gmail.com for details on how you can start reaching thousands of listeners in the Buffalo area and beyond, okay? Podcasting, folks. People can't get enough of other people talking. I'm one of them, okay? And it's great. Podcast industry, it's booming. That's why these massive companies like State Farm, even fucking McDonald's, are like coming over and advertising on podcasts. And they're doing that because it's effective. And it's cool to see large brands like that move away from traditional media to something that people actually enjoy. But the problem is it doesn't leave any room for smaller local businesses to get in on the action, to utilize podcast advertising. That's why we're here. So if you're interested in learning more about all the benefits to podcast advertising, again, you can reach out to us at snackspotsports@gmail.com. Oh, okay. Well, Emily took the logo off.
Jesus, so Emily, you started. We didn't even
give
know
us a
we
fair
started.
warning, Emily.
I know, it doesn't even give us a fair... No, it's too late now.
We're already in the show. Is that ring, like, did you have that custom made?
Yeah, both of them are custom made.
What's the other one?
That's Frigid Giant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My best friend's a jeweler.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
And that's my birthstone, so those are rubies.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's probably the coolest, like, custom piece of jewelry I've ever seen.
I'm known for being awesome, so.
Yeah, man. When we were like messaging, I was like, yeah, let's, Oh, no, because you messaged me the day that I was going to message you.
Yeah.
I was like, how did you know I was about to message you to come on the show? And you were like, I have powers. And then the next message was plural. And I was like, oh, man, this is awesome.
That sounds like something I would say.
But we appreciate you coming on, dude. Where were you, just in Connecticut for like a convention or something?
Yeah, I just got back Monday. I was at Mohegan Sun. It's a huge resort / casino. Like Michael Jordan's got a restaurant there. Bobby Flay's got a restaurant. The Cake Boss has a cakery or whatever the hell you call it.
Cake Boss. I was thinking about that guy today. Ace of Cakes. All day. Fuck the Cake Boss. That's my professional opinion.
I'm going to say this. I'm calling out Buddy Velastro right now. Cake Boss, the Carlos Bakery, Mohegan Sun. Past couple years was excellent. This year, kind of dropping on me, man.
Slacking.
I believe that, man. He seems like the guy who would lose his sight of his attention to detail. He would let things fall off. And that's why I like Duff from Ace of Cakes better. Because that guy has never fallen off.
But is Duff...
No.
Then
he's
he already lost points in my mind.
He might have a little bit. He might be Polish. He looks Polish. He looks like a pierogi.
Look, nothing against the Polish people, but the Goombas, the Goombadis, you know, they get extra points in my book. So
they did
Cake Boss.
They did this show where on the Food Network where it was like the two of them against each other because you know they're both make big crazy cakes. That's their whole thing, and so they do like a big challenge every episode. And what was it? It was like a museum commissioned them each to make a cake for this big event, and then they were going to choose which cake would win and actually be shown at the event. And the Cake Boss lost, and he went ballistic. He walked off camera, and he's like, you know, running his hands through his hair, and he went to like find a producer, and they could just get a shot, and you see the Cake Boss just like screaming at this woman who, you know, has like her clipboard and stuff, like how just mad that he lost this competition.
Was his cake better?
No, of course not, because Duff, you can't beat Duff.
He became the cake associate that day.
Sorry, pal. We gotta
demote you.
We gotta bring it down a little bit.
The board had a meeting. You're out.
Just like in that. People meme it all the time. In the first Spider-Man, when they fire Norman Osborn, he's like, oh, fuck, now I can't remember what he says. He's like, you can't do this to me.
Yeah, that was Vince McMahon last week.
Oh, that's right. He, like, resigned, though, right?
Yeah, he's
but
probably still in power.
Yeah, because he was
Does his
getting...
daughter take over for him?
I don't
Is
know.
that what the deal was?
Triple H is in control of creative.
Oh,
but
really?
I think she might be, like, the head of the company, though, now.
Like taking his spot?
Yeah,
okay,
she's probably like the CEO and Triple H is the CCO or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's why. Man, did you ever see that video of Vince McMahon when he got in the ring and his opponent was God?
No.
Dude, he almost wins. So it's Vince McMahon, and he's just alone in the ring, and, you know, he's talking his shit, he's doing his thing, and then, you know, fucking music comes in, it's like, what? And then there's just this spotlight at the entrance, and then the spotlight, like, moves into the ring and proceeds to kick his ass. And it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, I mean, people talk about that guy being a sociopath or what, a narcissist or whatever, but that is all the proof you need right there. He wrote, like, you know what, I'm going to fight God.
At least he made himself lose.
I know.
He could have
but
wrote
like
himself
I said,
in as a winner.
It was close. It was very close.
Oh, man. I like when he tore his quads entering the ring.
Oh, that video's crazy.
He's like laying on the ground. And he's trying to yell at like these like 7-foot giant behemoths. And he's like, you got to fight. Da, da, da. He's like laying there like a freaking uncooked sausage.
I mean, it's impressive that he was even able to do that, though.
Yeah.
When you see them just fucking detach like that. But that guy, I mean, aside from steroids, I think that I have no idea what else he was on, but it's got to be something.
Oh, probably at all. Whatever you could possibly imagine, I'm sure. Because isn't that like a...
But he's a professional.
Yeah.
Got to give him that.
Hey, he gets it done. Whatever it takes, Andy.
We should all get steroids.
I
I'd say legalize them.
I have this take.
Oh, sure.
I have this take when it comes to Major League
steroids
Baseball.
were illegal.
Some are.
Oh, okay.
They're good ones.
Yeah. I think that steroids should be almost mandatory to play Major League Baseball.
I agree fully.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, let's watch the most exciting baseball ever.
Yeah.
Let's watch people hit fucking absolute bombs. There's a reason that I don't watch baseball. It's because nobody's on steroids anymore.
I feel like a lot of people are on board for that. Everybody that we have that conversation with is like, yeah, absolutely.
And then there's, the integrity of the game people. But guess what?
Right.
For a while, the
Well,
integrity of the game was everybody's on steroids. We just don't talk about it.
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
integrity. We could do that again. Put a rule in the new CBA that says all players have to be on steroids. And, just don't say, don't publish, don't put that as a thing that you tell the
Yeah,
public.
make it like the Apple terms and conditions.
Yeah, something that nobody's ever going to read.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, by the way,
It's
everybody's
in
allowed to, say it real quick in your press conference. Oh, yeah, by the way, every player's on steroids this year. And then just zip right over it. And then when everybody's just hitting nukes every game, we'll just be like, oh, my God, this is crazy. How do these people get so much more powerful? Maybe they change the balls again.
Bro, I will take steroids and go whack some dingers. Let's go.
Yes.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
That's what they're missing. You're
Steroids and
absolutely right.
baseball.
That's
that's-
the. Did you ever see the Simpsons episode when Bart takes Ritalin, and he's like, he could see satellites in space and stuff, and they're controlled by the, Major League Baseball, and then Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa come down, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to see this satellite, or you want to see us whack some dingers?" And they're like, "Dingers."
And then I think Wade Boggs puts something under his hat. It's very funny.
Yeah.
You can't get it from me saying that just now. But I love that episode.
Oh yeah, he
fucking
takes
love
a
that show.
transcript from the satellite.
Oh yeah, because it's got
Yeah.
all their personal data and
Yeah.
stuff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just recapping Simpsons
Man,
episodes.
Simpsons just always tells the future.
It
you
is
know?
weird how they have done it. I mean, they have been on for so long, but
They've done everything. So
Yeah.
it's like when you've done everything, you can pull from that and just be like, oh, they predict the future. No, it's like they've literally done everything. So it's like the pool is there.
yeah, of course.
It's like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, you can just find the evidence that you're looking for. But that's, yeah, I still love that show.
This is a horrible segue, but I used to love Andrew Tice. I used to be obsessed with the Simpsons comic books.
Oh, yeah.
I had so many of them. Actually, when our parents moved out of their house, I asked you if you wanted them, and you said no, and I think I threw them
No, I
away.
took a couple of
Oh,
them.
there you go.
I took because they had a one that was just comic book guy, and their first issue, the cover was a spoof of Fantastic Four #1. So comic book guy was coming out of the ground like that. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the one thing I wanted to ask you about Connecticut was you got to meet Garth Ennis there too. Is that right,
Yeah.
dude?
That was the first person I met too.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
This guy Matthew.
I was going to
he-
say, should we explain who that is? Because some people that are listening
know.
might not know.
People know. Some people at this table might not know, but the people know. He wrote The Boys, the comic
Yep.
book, and Preacher.
Gotcha.
Are you a fan of both of those?
I never read the Boys comic, but I have read every Preacher.
Oh, really?
I love Preacher. When I met him, so what I did was I got commissioned to do a Boys sketch. They have these things called sketch covers. So basically it's a comic book, but the cover's blank. So artists will get paid to draw on them and stuff. So I recreated an old Superman cover, but I made it Homelander instead of Superman. And then I did that because the other artist that was there is named Dan Jurgens, and he was the Superman artist of the 90s. So he was at that convention too. So I had Garth Ennis, Dan Jurgens, and then his inker Brett Breeding sign it, and then I signed it. And then I got it sent to get graded.
Yeah.
So I literally made a $500 piece of art like that. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Is that kind of rare for conventions?
I don't think there's ever been any book that had all 4 of those creators
Right.
on it. And no, I would say it's pretty rare.
Yeah, I have only ever been to one comic book convention, and it was in, it was a small one.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the whole deal is and stuff. But did you watch the Preacher TV show? I gotta ask you about that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I fucking love Preacher, and I feel like
Yeah. I didn't care much for the first season.
Yeah.
I liked the cast, and then it picked up after that.
okay, because the first season it takes place before the books even start, right?
I think they just made it up for the show.
Yeah.
It's got elements from it, but it's not it's not a straight on retelling of any arc or anything exactly. It just kind of takes bits and pieces
Yeah.
and establishes the world.
Right. But at least it's cool that Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are doing all this stuff, though. Because, they did that. They do The Boys, and they do Invincible.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat that.
No,
stuff.
you can't. shit, I'd like to work with them. Like, I mean, it looks like they're passionate and they want to be true to like the material. So as a fan, I can only appreciate that.
Yeah, I wonder because I haven't read any of the boys either, but I feel like I've heard they change a bunch of stuff. I don't know how much they actually change. It might just be people, nitpicking or whatever. But I think they changed. Did they change a lot of Preacher? Because I didn't actually read those either. But I fucking love the show.
Some and some not. Like I remember there was like a Saint of Killers episode where they kind of like explained that dude's origin.
Oh yeah,
and that was pretty like on the ball. Other parts of it, they just kind of like you said, they pick and choose little bits and pieces. Because really, like Preacher's like a road story. Mm-hmm. So they go first they go across America because they're looking for God basically, and then they get tied up with the Vatican and all this other stuff and like these little subgroups and stuff. So they go all around the world. So they kind of did that a little bit in the show, but they didn't do it to the extent that the book shows.
Yeah, well, it was only on for like 3 seasons.
Yeah, and they don't have a huge budget to do all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. It seems like I feel like that show was a little bit of a testing ground for like what they're doing now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Sandman show this weekend.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I've never read Sandman, but the show looks. I don't know if I'm gonna check it out. I've heard Sandman is really good, but I mean, you know what it's like. You know how like people always complain about Netflix anime adaptations.
They're Netflix in general to me. I mean, I haven't really been blown away by anything that they actually produce, like movies, shows. I just get like. I don't know. I'm not big into like movies and stuff, so.
Sure.
But what I have seen, I'm like, it's all right,
Some of that's. I mean, some things are pretty good. Like this last season of Stranger Things was awesome.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of I think Netflix is even still in that quantity over quality phase a little bit. Because you know what? I think they do a lot of good stuff, but they also just do so much of it that it feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, just inherently, you're not gonna. Really give a shit about that much stuff.
I think some of the big Netflix, big in their terms, Netflix movies are good though. Like I loved that movie Six Underground. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is that the one with Charlize Theron?
I don't know. It's Ryan Reynolds.
It's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's a kind of a different action movie.
I think Michael Bay directed that.
Yes, he did.
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
And it's a good movie. And same with The Old Guard. You ever seen that movie?
That's the
one that I was thinking of. Yeah,
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
I like that movie.
I did like that movie, actually. It wasn't great or anything.
No, but
it's
a cool story. Like, it's a cool...
Yeah.
It's
I feel like that might have been based on a comic, too, or something.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Or it's written by a comic book writer. I know that for sure. I don't know if it was an actual book though.
Yeah.
But what I am intrigued about with Sandman is that they got the series writer Neil Gaiman. He produced the show, so he was a part of it the entire time, and he's held on to that property from being produced until he had the final say in a lot of it. So he's been brought on for the entire series. So given that, I kind of have faith in it. Because it's got the actual creators input on and his stamp of approval on everything, so that gives me hope for it.
I don't know. Is it an animated show or is it?
No, it's a live action show.
Okay.
Yeah, that definitely goes in its favor. We'll see. But that again, I mean, that's kind of you couldn't do that before shit like Netflix. Like when you only had a couple of networks, they were so hands-on with stuff. The good thing about Netflix, and I think most of the other streaming services do this as well, is just fucking do your thing, man. Whatever you want, and then, give it to us at the end. I know they do make some changes and stuff, but for the most part, with narrative things, it seems like they put a lot of power in the creators' hands. That's why a lot of people like to go there too,
Yeah.
Because especially, you don't want to be constrict. It's the same thing between, radio and podcasting. You can't say fuck on the radio.
Yeah.
But as we were just discussing, that's just how you fucking talk.
You're right.
I
mean, that and, who listens to the fucking radio besides, old people?
Matthew's getting back into talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
Talk radio,
it's sports radio, though.
Okay, yeah. That's something
sports
else.
Talk radio.
I'm talking about, driving around, listen to the radio, add every 3 songs or 2 songs or whatever.
I couldn't physically do that.
It's
and I will say, the only reason that I listen to sports talk radio is like the times that I listen to it is when like the sports podcasts that I listen to, like if I've already listened to the episode that I had for that day, or if there's a day where a show that I listen to, maybe they're not coming out till tomorrow or whatever, and there's no sports podcast for me to listen to, I listen to sports radio. Or like Monday mornings after the Bills play, I listen to sports radio. Right. Stuff like that.
You got to get something. You got to hear two people talking about something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get involved. I love sitting there imagining I was calling talk radio because the people that call, oh man, even today, like, I mean, the stuff that they're going on and on about, I just think sometimes, like, it's not that all people have bad arguments, but sometimes people call and say stuff. I think I've told this story before, but I'll never forget it. The guy calls and says, like, well, I don't have the stat. He's like, explaining something. He's like, well, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I think this and this and this and this. And the guys in the radio are like, we literally have the stats in front of us, and what you're saying is the exact opposite of what's true. And he's like, well, I don't have the stats in front of me. That's just how I feel. And he's like, well, that's not correct. And that's the shit that drives me crazy. That's why I don't call, because if I was a radio host and people were calling in and I had access to all this information, I would call people out every single second that they were wrong, and I don't want to be called out on the radio like that. So I just bite my tongue and complain about other people.
If you're gonna be on the radio, you just have it set up for success, because most people are either like sitting on their front porch or in their car.
And like that's your job. That's what you do all day. You're prepared for these.
You have everything laid out.
You have to find a way to control the absolute narrative. And look at like Jim Rome. Like you couldn't like tell him shit really, because he's got it. Like he has like a monologue already planned before he even like gets into something. If you ever like watch or listen to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they stretch that muscle all the time. Just talking. So you're never gonna beat them.
Yeah, I know, and they'll just disconnect your ass.
Oh yeah, I mean that's always good too.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the call.
Hang it up.
Yeah.
What drew you to comics first? Was it the stories or was it the actual art?
As far as making or reading them,
let's go all the way back.
Yeah, let's go back to when you first started reading them.
When I was a young little tadpole, I emerged from the lily pad. And I grew legs, and I walked on land, and I started growing hair in funny places. And the next thing you know, I was on a beanbag reading like X-Men comics and Spider-Man comics. No, I'm just playing. I had an older sister. She was pretty like artsy-fartsy, kind of alternative. And she was reading comics in like the early 90s because they were huge back then. I mean, you're talking book sales back then. You'd sell millions of copies of single issues. Like the first, not the first X-Men, but like X-Men #1 from like 1990, 91 sold like 8 million copies. Spider-Man sold 5 million copies. X-Force sold 5 million copies. They were huge, right? So from the aftermath of that, you know, my sister would give me her old comics. I was a little kid. She'd be like babysitting me and stuff. And then, you know, there was like the X-Men cartoon from the 90s, the Batman cartoon from the 90s, and just, you know, like, oh, I like this, you know what I mean? And then here's this, and then here's that. And then I got older and I'm going to the comic book store for the first time, and what's that? You know what I mean? Like just kind of just exploring and finding what I liked, what I didn't like. And I did that for a long time. And then I got older and was more into like girls and hanging out with my friends and like smoking pot and stuff, and kind of got out of it. Then I went to art school for college, and that's when I kind of got sucked back into it a little bit, because I really wanted to do illustration. I was going to art school for graphic design, and I'm like, you know, this is kind of boring. And I would see like what Marvel and DC and Image were doing at that time, and it kind of blew me away, because like the art had just evolved so much, like the coloring, the paper quality, all that stuff. The writing had gotten better. So I started getting back into it, and then I'd always wanted to draw. I mean, like I always made like little comics in like elementary school and stuff. I remember like when Independence Day came out, I made like Alien Takeover comic like with my friends, and like they weren't even into that stuff either, but I was like the artist, so I did it. And then I was doing music, and then that took over for like a decade, and in the process of like having like my record contract dissolve, and then I got injured, and I broke my back, right? So I was just in a back brace for months, and I got back into comics again, and I was like, I just had all these ideas, and I started drawing again. And my friend, who's a photographer, he's like, why don't you draw 100 characters in 100 days? So I drew 100 Marvel characters in 100 days. And, like, at that point, I had started thinking about my own storyline that I was kind of, like, just having fever dreams, putting together, and, like, just sketching things out and, like, piecing this world together. And that became my first book, which was called Volantis. So I did that for, like, 9 issues, and I just kind of, like, honed my skills and got better and better and better and just trained myself. And I got back into that world, like, big time, and I was studying and, like, seeking out critiques and sending out artwork, and then I started getting, like, commissions and jobs out of it. So that's kind of how I got there. Yeah, I think that answers your question a little bit.
Well, yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
And you touch on something that I want to talk about, too, because I was looking through this before we started.
Tough Stuff.
Yeah, Tough Stuff. Here.
Your newest one, right?
Yeah. You want to hold that for me, Andy?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I mean, the artwork is unbelievable, but you just talked about kind of when you first started getting back into it and having these fever dreams of creating this universe. That is another thing that I find so interesting about, you know, like working on these comics. Like, in your mind, before you even draw, before you even write anything, you're kind of mapping out what this world is and what's going to happen, or does it kind of come to you as you're going?
So Tough Stuff was a different story. Excuse me. I developed Tuff Stuff during the COVID pandemic shutdown and all that. And what had happened was, you're stuck in the house, and I was never used to being in the house like that, like ever. Like I've always been like a outgoing, like I want to be out. I want to be out every night, this, that, and the third. So it was different. So my brother and I started this thing called Tubi Roulette, where we would watch a streaming service, Tubi.
Yeah.
And we would just pick, like, the shittiest movie to watch.
Oh, you find some wild stuff on Tubi.
Yeah. So, it started with, like, Samurai Cop, and then Miami Connection, and Hell Comes to Frogtown, and, like, you name it. Like, I watched all of them. And, oh, my God. And a lot of times under some interesting influences.
You got to. Dude, Miami Connection, it's crazy. But if you're high when you watch that, the songs fucking rule.
Friends for eternity. Honesty, stick together through thick or thin. Yes.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
We got to get new chairs.
So, listen, I watched that movie on acid for the first time.
Jesus Christ.
And it was like a life-changing moment.
Oh, my God. So this movie, Matthew, it's one of the best bad movies of all time. God. It's about a rock band of Taekwondo experts. So they Taekwondo by day, rock band by night. I think, what the fuck is the name of their band? It's like
Dragon Force.
Yeah, Dragon Force. And there's this song, I think it's like right at the beginning, because their music is about Taekwondo. And they get everybody in the crowd going, Taekwondo.
Yeah. And there's super like positive songs too, which I kind of love.
Yeah.
And
dude, that one we were just singing is super catchy.
Yeah. What's funny about that is the guy that leads the band is easily like in his 40s, and everyone around him is like in their early 20s, and he's like, hey Mark, like let's go hang out and do fun stuff. And the dude's like, I gotta find my dad. He's like, we're gonna find your dad.
Oh man, the scene when the guy gets that letter about his dad.
My father.
That was so fucking spot on, the voice you just did. Like, that is exactly what that guy sounds like. But that scene in particular is so weird because, the guy, what's his name? Something Kim. He wrote and directed it. And in that scene, it seems like he's really, like, kind of directing on camera.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, you found your father? You found your father? Like let's get more excited about this. But I think some of those guys were like his actual Taekwondo students, and he just kind of like wrangled them in.
That would make sense why he was like 50 and they were all half his age.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So watching movies like that, I was like, man, I want to make a movie like this, like so bad. And then I realized, well, instead of making a movie, I'll just make a comic.
Now that you say that, I can see it.
Oh yeah, open
awesome.
up. Look at the back cover. So it's all continuous.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. So, like, the bad guy in that, what's every bad guy in every late 80s, early 90s movie? A land developer, a real estate developer.
Yes.
So that's what he is. He's trying to burn down the beachfront property so he can swoop in, buy it up, and turn it, gentrify it, whatever.
Does he have the ponytail going too?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. That's
Big
my
time.
favorite 80s bad guy trope. I just
yeah.
like the record producer with the ponytail is my favorite thing.
From, like,
Holy shit.
Wayne's World.
Yeah. All those guys.
If you look, his nose is very phallic looking.
Yeah.
He's got like a
Just
baby
noticed
dick for a nose. With some bumps on it.
This is sick.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, you weren't in here when I was flipping through it.
No, I
but
know, but
yeah.
And like I got better as I made the next one too.
where do you get these printed?
I have a company out of Michigan that
Okay.
prints them. But they're like I got like the best deal through them.
Nice. Yeah, because
And the quality's
It's a
good.
good
This
book.
is super.
Yeah, it's a heavy
it's
book.
super quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cover in particular, like the covers feel great. Modern. Oh, so when you send it to them, in what form do you send it? Do you send a digital copy?
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
This is something that I've been very curious about for a while, because even still in like today's comic books, like there's an inker credited. With like Marvel and DC, like the bigger companies, are people still drawing this shit out by hand initially and then inking it, or have they moved over to digital?
It's a mixed bag.
Okay.
And it's kind of hard to tell sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like I said, it's a mixed bag. I think if anything, what might be deterring people from going the traditional route is just what they pay for page rates.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you could get a penciler, an inker, and they have to split like $500 between each other for a page, or you could pencil and ink your own stuff and get that money all to yourself, or you
Right.
could do it digitally and get the same rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's a counterbalance between that and then what the budget for the book is, what the predicted sales are. I don't know exactly, but that's my estimate, and I think that's fairly accurate.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. I was just curious because I don't know. It'd be cool if they still all did it by hand like that, but I have no idea.
I think they
How they
should.
could.
I mean, the upside to that too is that you get to have like a physical piece of artwork that you could sell.
Yeah, man.
So actually, all of mine, these two books are all drawn by hand, pencil and ink.
Yeah. Of course. Some of that like original comic book art is so cool. Like just the sketches and stuff. And obviously people can make a lot of money from them now.
Yeah.
Because like there's some like the old Flash sketches. I don't know. I can't remember who did them. But like I see those and stuff online sometimes. And, like I love them. They
Yeah.
look so cool.
Andrew has a comic book buying
I had to
problem.
delete the that short box app.
Oh, you have one?
Well, I had to delete the app because I spent an insane amount of
Oh,
money
really?
on it. Yeah.
What do you collect?
Mostly on there, I liked to get old X-Men books.
Hell yeah.
Like my favorite one I've got is X-Men #9, which is when they meet the Avengers for the first time.
What's it
Nice.
rated?
2.5 or something like that. Yeah, but it's an expensive fucking book, man.
Oh, you have it like graded in the
Great.
case and
Well, because
everything?
you know the short box app. Do you know this thing?
Nah.
It's makes it unbelievably easy to like buy graded books.
Okay.
Like the whole thing is just for slabbed comics.
Gotcha.
And you can search things super easily, and they've got a lot of cool stuff on there. I got Amazing Spider-Man 14 on there as well.
Oh, sick.
I think that might be a 2. But yeah, Fantastic Four 23, which is where they meet the X-Men for the first time. Like those, because the first ones that I really started reading were the the
Master.
Marvel. Yeah,
it
yeah,
works.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Of the uncanny X-Men actually, but then I got like the old ones, and yeah, one of my grails is X-Men number 14 or whatever it is, first appearance of the Sentinels.
Nice.
I love everything about that book.
Sick.
Yeah.
I don't have any slab books.
None? Well, you're gonna get this new one though.
I
that comes
have
in.
I have one coming in,
Okay.
and I did the artwork on it too, and it was I drew Hellboy with the Ron Perlman version.
Yeah.
And I was at a convention he was at, and I had him sign it and like had it graded and stuff. So that's on the way.
That's a lot cooler though, I think, than just like buying a graded book. Because you're getting graded books that you actually put together.
A lot of people are getting my books graded and slabbed. I have to sign a lot of paperwork. I've been witnessed like signing books and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like mind blowing, to be honest with you.
What's that whole process like?
For me?
Yeah.
If I'm just signing a book, I just sign it, but the person, they have to get like a company that grades it to witness them, so they have to come to like my booth or whatever and watch me sign it, and then
Oh, really?
that's pretty much it on my part. But like, yeah.
So if you are gonna get something signed to be graded, you can't just like, take a picture of you with this person. You have to have an actual representative there.
Yeah.
There's got to be hard to get a hold of those guys.
Well, there's two different services that I know of. There's CGC, which is the main one.
Yeah.
And then there's CBCS, and that one I think is a little more lenient. Like, you could probably send in, like, if you had, just a signed X-Men, say it was signed by Stan Lee. Obviously, you can't get that witness because he's dead, but they can verify it.
But CGC doesn't verify it?
They won't if they're not there. If they don't have a witness, they won't.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's why people seek out the CGC more. I think it's just a little more valuable, but it's all the same to me. I think that stuff's cool and all, but like I'm more into it to tell stories and to like enjoy the craft. Like I kind of got upset because this just came out. Tuff Stuff Goes to Rehab. I did this through Kickstarter, so this hasn't been like officially published yet. And like I know I sent out like hundreds of copies, and I'm like, where's the feedback? And I'm like talking to people, and they're like, it looks so good, I don't want to take it out of the box. And I'm like, dude, take it out of the box. Like, fucking read that shit.
Yeah, please read it.
Like, because I got a ton of great feedback on that, but that's because people actually read it. And I know, like, this is just sitting on someone's shelf right now. It's like, dude, that shit wasn't meant to be put in a plastic box and left and not read. Like, read that shit. You know what I mean? Buy two if you're going to do that.
Yeah, that's the, like, dark side of collecting. People just go too crazy with it. It's the same with like Star Wars toys and stuff.
Yeah.
Like people buy these things and then just keep it on a box.
Play
or they'll
with that
buy
shit.
like a bunch of them. Although I remember when DC did the New 52, I like waited outside the store to get like some of the new first issues, and there's like a bunch of like 40-year-old guys out there, and they like rushed in there ahead of me and took like 6 at a time. I was lucky just to get a couple of them.
Oh yeah.
And that I'm not really into. Because again, I feel like that kind of just goes against the spirit of the whole thing.
Well, like when I do conventions and stuff, I have to be there early, like super early, because they'll have like your early crowd, and they're just there to like pick through everything, get the lion's share of collections or whatever kind of books they want. But they also take up a lot of the artists' like commission lists, signings, stuff like that. It's also where I make like a lot of money, is if by getting there early, so I don't lose out on commissions and stuff. Because someone might want a sketch from me, and if it's like a 3-day convention, they're not gonna want to do it on Sunday. You know what I mean? I don't want to rush one, so like Fridays, I'll set up a list and get it like filled out before, like in an hour or two, and then I have all my commissions set up for the weekend.
Oh wow.
That's
And how does that work? Like,
they give me money.
Yeah.
well, but like to draw book cover, or is it like a free for all? Like,
It depends. Normally, I just try to do like the sketch covers.
yep.
I've done a ton of them, so I've gotten very comfortable with them, and like I kind of have like a system set up where I only like, depending on the payment, I spend X amount of hours on it.
Yep.
So that way I can kind of gauge how many I can do in a day.
Mm-hmm. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, do you have set prices for people, or do they sometimes go like, this is how much I want to pay, and then of course that's, like you said, how much time you spend on it?
I generally have set prices, but if someone like, I could work with someone, like if they have, hey, I have like X amount of dollars. Yeah, but I'm only going to do, like in my mind, that many hours. Like I have a set rate in my head.
Yeah.
So I kind of divide the labor versus the rate in my head.
So
that's smart.
So then when you go to these conventions, because I don't know how this works, do you have to get most of those to those people like before you leave, or do you take that, like you send them to them separately?
I have sent them separately, but I generally try to get them done.
So is it like convention closes for the day, go out to eat, have a drink or two, and then go back to the room and start drawing, or?
Yeah, generally I have, I always have like a commission list going on. So like right now I'm doing a commercial, like I'm illustrating a commercial, and when I wasn't on the convention floor and doing like commissions on the floor, I was going back and working on that because I have a tight deadline and they just keep increasing the amount of work I have to do. And they like, you know, they're kind of fucking me, but like whatever. Yeah. It's a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I guess the name of the game is just to always be busy. But if I'm taking commissions at a show, I want to get them done and out before I leave.
Yeah, of course. It's part of the whole experience, you know? People get excited about it and stuff. It's a big part of their weekend.
I get excited about it, too.
Yeah.
Like, I think I did 3 commissions this weekend, and I got, like, I get excited about it, you know what I mean? Because once I start, like, building a form and, like, figuring it out, I'm like, ooh, I can do this, I can do that. The only thing is, like, I'm kind of limited by what they want to spend.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can spend 12 hours on a sketchbook, but they're going to, you know, is someone going to pay me like $400 to do that? Probably not. So.
Yeah. So when it comes to Tuff Stuff then, so this was the first Tuff Stuff right here that you came out with.
Mm-hmm.
And is this the second, or is there one in between?
No, that's the second one.
So this will be the second.
Yeah.
And it's not officially out per se yet.
Just through the Kickstarter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I can't stop looking at these.
I know the artwork's unbelievable.
Dude, I love that one.
I liked it. I can't see it now. I gotta take. I like.
So do you? I mean, this might seem obvious, I guess, but you just write these yourself though. Like your brother doesn't.
No.
Does he check it out? Do you have anybody though that you like?
Yeah,
like,
I bounce stuff off.
stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
I bounce stuff off people. I have like, 3 or 4 friends that'll, read it, and that's part of my process too. Like, I wrote dialogue and narration and stuff in that book like after I had already had finished what was in the script and did all the artwork, and I'm like, I just kind of tweak it as I go.
Yeah, well, I think that's a benefit of it's not a quick process to get something like this done.
Fuck
so
no.
when you're like working on it for so long and you have to go back to so many things, it's a great opportunity to like switch stuff up. And like, oh, maybe I can improve this line or whatever a little bit.
Well, that, and you find different ways to serve the story too. So generally, like, I try to work in chronological order, but it sometimes helps me to not do that, because then I can like add things in previous pages and stuff, and like,
yeah, I do want to look at this.
Add like foreshadowing, figure out plot holes, stuff like that. Because I edit my own stuff, which is like probably the dumbest thing I could do. But I also feel more confident in myself editing than anyone else because they don't know what's in my head.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's one of the biggest problems I imagine you run into, especially, I mean, goddamn, like, so much is, like, just looking at this, like, so much has gone into this. Good God. Fuck, dude, this is cool. Sorry for the people just listening, but God damn it, dude. Are you...
Is that the sex scene?
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's not even the sex scene. The sex scene is probably my favorite, like, thing. I was, do you know who Joseph Schmalke is?
No, I don't think so.
He did this book called Phantom Star Killer. He's a newer artist. I mean, he's not, like, young, but he's, like, just gotten big the past couple years. He was at the convention, and we were showing each other our books and stuff, and I'm like, dude, you gotta see the sex scene in here. And like, we were fucking cracking up. Like, I'm like, it's so good.
It's incredible how far this stuff has come, man. Like, I mean, we were talking about The Boys earlier, and Invincible. Those are like prime examples, I feel, but like comic books, like anything else, man, it's just evolved so much. Like, there was a time where you like could not draw, you couldn't have cleavage in a book, you know what I mean? And now
I've got a lot of cleavage in my books.
that's the Tough Stuff guarantee, folks. You're gonna see if anything, you're gonna see a lot of cleavage.
I don't know if there's so much cleavage as there is like drug use and like overt violence. But...
Yeah.
Well, the
that's
next
like,
one. The next one. Oh, that's my favorite.
Like even just when I was flipping through it, you got a bullet going through a guy's hand. Like,
Oh yeah. Shout out to Eli Schwab. He's a publisher out of LA. That was him.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, one of my things I did through my Kickstarter is I would
Did
draw
you
you
look
in
at
the
this
book.
page?
no, I didn't
Did you see
actually see
it?
it.
Sorry.
No.
Keep
No, you're
going.
good. No. I part of my Kickstarter was I would draw people into the book if they paid to join in.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, but I don't think I can like ever do that again because it got to be ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like
it's tough to sustain.
the demands and
Yeah.
I'm in this page. Can I buy this page? I'm like, chill.
Come on, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, those books are awesome. So, you know, you talked about maybe not getting as much feedback as you'd hope for, but you're still kind of waiting for it. Are you know, the Tuff Stuff series is going to continue, correct?
I mean, if
Or
you read,
you haven't decided yet?
if you read the second one, there's kind of a
Okay. There's a little.
kind of a thing in there.
Gotcha.
So in the first one, like I'm not gonna, obviously there's a second one. So in the first one, it does say he'll be back,
Yeah.
but you'd have to
read the second
yeah.
one. So-
And I'm also happy that there hasn't been a lot on the second one yet because the first one is getting released widespread through a publisher. So it's almost like I'm preventing the spoilers.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You don't want the second one to necessarily be out there
Exactly.
for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe next year I'm going to be going hard promoting that the way I am promoting this. But
Gotcha,
we got to see how
gotcha.
sales are. But I think it's going to be good. Like, I think people will want it, the second one for sure.
Yeah.
Is the goal to just keep doing cool independent stuff like this, or what would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I did just talk to a published writer, like, on my way here, and he's got a hot book, and I was like, hey, I got something for you, and he's like, I'm all ears, so there might be some other stuff coming. Like, it's really just, can I sustain my lifestyle off this, be happy, and just kind of continue chasing my dreams? Yeah, like, that's the goal. So, whatever I can do to sustain my lifestyle with this that's the goal for right now. I would like to do a movie.
Like have one of your books get turned into a movie?
Or a separate movie.
No, I want Tuff Stuff to be a movie.
You want Tough Stuff to be a
Fuck
movie?
yeah, dude. And I know how I want to do it too.
I mean, it's very cinematic.
I want it.
Yeah.
I want it to be Tuff Stuff be like a puppet. Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Dick Tracy?
Yeah.
I want all the other characters to have like prosthetics, kind of like how they looked in Dick Tracy. And then I want the movie shot Grindhouse style.
What's that?
Like, you would see the film grain.
Oh, okay.
Like there'd be spots where the editing is just off completely, like cigarette burns.
Just kind of like one of those old like exploitation films
Absolutely.
from like the 70s.
Well, I want
yeah,
it to be like the 80s though.
Right.
Like Miami Connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like follow my storyline so it's like actually cohesive. But I'd want everything like practical. You know what I mean? Like there no CGI. Like if there is, like super minimal, But I just feel like that's kind of lost from like movies nowadays. Is everything is CGI and it all just looks. You can tell. You know what I mean? You watch any Marvel movie, like they look great, but half the time it just looks like people in a CGI green room. That's what it is.
Yeah. Takes
Takes you out of it, and then the CGI doesn't hold up over time, and then you have shit like, Spawn's cape. Like in the movie Spawn looks terrible. You have things like that. It holds up over every movie though too. Like they do not last forever. Not like practical like puppets and prosthetics and stuff do.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely it's a lost art form, and that's a real shame. I remember when they started the last Star Wars trilogy, they tried to like do a little bit of that, and then they just got away from it because I don't know. I guess it was too much of a hassle. They just didn't feel like they wanted to go the easier route. Honestly,
Right.
is what it seemed like.
Yeah.
But also, I think people appreciate that stuff too.
Oh hell yeah.
Because people know how much that takes, and it's an art form too.
Yeah.
Like you have to. It's
my
more complicated.
favorite movies are all made before like 2001, like the year.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, like they stopped making like classic movies at that time.
Well, that's just like the way. I mean, that's the way
Well,
that time works, though.
15
you
years ago today, Hot Rod came out. That's a classic.
Yeah, you got.
I do like
it
Hot
on that
Rod.
one.
Yeah.
That's true.
But they stopped shooting in film. That's why. And they stopped using practical effects. So like there's so much love and like I don't know what the term is for it, but like
passion.
do you know what a cathode ray is?
No.
So like old TVs and old projectors, they project light at a certain like you know like you have like a BPM for music.
Yeah.
There's
frame rate.
There's frame rates for your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about it that like adds this like warm, like mesmerizing quality. And you don't get that in digital.
The edges are a little soft.
You don't get that shit anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like it's weird. So like there's like something about and plus film just looks better. It doesn't have that like compressed I don't know. I might be nitpicking, but like I noticed the differences. So I'm just gonna kind of end it there, but I noticed the difference.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of film buffs have that same complaint.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have that same complaint. I don't know. I'm at a weird spot with movies in general.
Me too.
But
They're all the same.
yeah, especially you know I like Marvel movies and stuff, but those are I think people are even becoming like they're starting to get tired of those.
Because it's literally the same thing. Black
Yeah.
Panther is the same exact storyline as Thor.
Yeah. To a T.
Yeah.
I think. Did you see they canceled that Batgirl movie?
Yeah. I'm not
and
surprised.
that complete. Like that movie is done and finished, and they were like, "We can't show this to anybody."
No.
And I'm like, "Thank God."
I
because
didn't know.
They've been,
I heard this on another podcast this morning about this Batgirl movie. I didn't know that Batgirl was even a thing before.
like just Batgirl, not
Yeah.
the movie, but just that Batgirl was a
Yeah.
person, a character.
Yeah.
My
Good
man.
God, man. Dude.
Who directed that?
It's somebody I can't remember.
I know who they were talking about it. Yeah, but when was Batgirl a thing and other things?
Batgirl has always been a thing. She
I know
was in
Catwoman is.
Well, yeah, everybody knows who Catwoman is.
So the thing with Batgirl is when they wanted to like redo the Justice League movie and they brought Joss Whedon in,
Mhm.
part of his contract was that he got to direct a movie of his choosing in the DC universe, and he wanted to do Batgirl. So like those wheels have been in motion for like the past 5 or 6 years, and then obviously he got canceled and stuff, so he couldn't direct it. But like all the production had already been done.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So this is
it's a product of him.
partially Josh Whedon's movie.
Well, not. I don't
Really?
think he wrote the script or anything. I don't think
Sure.
they took that from him. But like as far as maybe the character, maybe the setting, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Keaton was supposed to be in it as well.
Yeah.
And Brendan Fraser, like, this was going to be... God.
And there's a younger Bat girl too, Batgirl, in the movie. Swear.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean...
Well, they were
there's
supposed to
been-
be. And
there's
she
been
was-
2 Bat girls, I think. Well, kind of 3.
It's what's her name? Batwoman?
Yeah, there's Batwoman.
Batwoman's niece, Batgirl, and she dates Robin in the movie.
Well, that's not right.
That's what it's about.
Okay.
Shocking.
And apparently it's factual.
Dude, they
Going
did-
back to like the
Wait,
60s.
you mean like it actually happened in real life?
Yes,
yeah.
in real life. In Gotham.
This movie has got to be fucking terrible if they pulled it. Because, like, a lot of their stuff is not good.
This is why I'm saying this. Give me $90 million. I make a movie that like I make and makes sense and is fucking captivating and is not scared to be different and fucking going down some like demographic marketing checkbox bullshit that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
And is not bland and dumb. And like instead you have this like cat that smokes crack and fucking fights crime, and his doctor girlfriend leaves him because he can't get a control of himself. And like that sounds way more entertaining than Batgirl's Batwoman's
I
niece.
do
She
love
dates
Gal
Robin.
Gadot though.
That's
As
fine.
Wonder Woman?
She's
Yeah.
not even in the movie.
No, but I'm just saying in general.
Sure, whatever.
I could watch Wonder Woman 8 days a week.
What
Yeah,
about
but you're
Wonder
not
Woman
even-
84?
I didn't like either. I think both those movies stink. I don't think Gal Gadot is a good actress. I think she's a terrible
I
actress.
love Gal Gadot.
She's attractive.
Or
but
Batman
that's-
versus
but
Superman.
Whatever.
She's charming.
It was a good movie.
She's charming.
She's charming, sure.
Yeah,
She's
there you
charming on
go.
like talk shows and stuff.
And
but
she's
like,
Gal Gadot.
okay,
Love Gal
whatever.
Gadot.
All right.
I'm a huge Gal Gadot fan.
Good Lord, guy, you gotta start thinking with this head.
Okay,
instead of that
here's the
head.
thing. We put Gal Gadot in Tough Stuff.
If Gal Gadot's in Tough Stuff, that's unbelievable.
See, Warner
that's,
Brothers, let's do this.
That's a situation
I'll
where
shoot her
the
a text.
material is good enough that it can make the people look
I'll
good.
say, hey Gal, got a new movie coming up for you.
But you know what? It's all
You're the love interest.
it's all executives that are just. It's everybody just worried about their jobs. You know.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. They have a checkbox of
Yeah.
is this represented? Yes. Is this there? Is this gonna offend people? Yes. No. Okay, take it out. Can you swear? No. Can you do this? It's like
Well, what it really is, I think, is like, will people take their kids to go see this, and can we sell toys off of it?
Yeah,
That's
well-
all. That's been the number one thing for a while.
yeah, but there's proof that R-rated movies sell.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. Now there is. And
Look at
and there's-
Deadpool.
I was gonna say I love
Deadpool,
Deadpool.
sure.
I never saw
and
Deadpool
Logan,
2,
whatever.
though.
But now, I mean, beyond that, there's just proof, generally speaking, that people don't give a shit about all the stuff that these executives seem to care about, because this is what, for some reason, they deem their job is hanging on, are these things, that checklist that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's why traditional media is crashing. There's statistics
Yeah,
to
but
prove this stuff.
That's because the people that they hear are the only people that they hear are the people that care. Because we talk about it all the time. It's like people are way more outspoken about things that they hate than things that they love.
Man, could you imagine if they didn't make The Godfather because they were worried about toy sales?
Seriously, though.
Could you imagine if
absolutely
they didn't
right.
make the movie Scarface because they were worried about toy sales?
And I feel like it was such a different demographic, though. Like, I feel like movies used to be made for, like, people to get away from their kids. Like, that was a
Because-
date night. Like,
well,
we're going to go
sure.
spend our money on, you and I watching this, and we're going to leave the kids at home with their
yeah,
kid
yeah.
cuisines.
They also used to show porn in theaters normally too. So
Yeah, there you go.
Bring that back.
Yeah.
no, how about just
Get
bringing
some good toy sales off of that.
make a good movie? How about that?
Yeah.
Just focus on making a good movie.
People are just too worried, man. They're too afraid for their jobs. And it's weird because a lot of these folks, a lot of these executives, that is, they bounce around from company to company because they do have a project like Batgirl that fails, but then, so you get fired at that from Warner Brothers, and then you get hired at Paramount. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you worked at Warner Brothers, so...
But bring it
Here
back
you go.
to Deadpool. They didn't want to release or make that movie either. And the reason that they did was because they made that fake trailer and they released the trailer and everyone was like, oh my God, we want this.
Yeah.
And then they made it on a super low budget. It made like almost $1 billion. And then, hey, let's make the sequel. Yeah, okay. And that almost made $1 billion. It's like, this can be done and it can be profitable. Let them make it. Like, the person obviously has a vision. It pays out. I don't know what I'm not a mathematician, so I don't know what like 56 million turning into 800 million is. I don't know what the
I'd say it's a lot.
You know
Yeah.
what you know what I think the other thing too, though, is again, with the executives who are choosing not to do movies like Deadpool for some reason, like, even though they see the proof right in front of their faces, there's still something like, I need to look like I'm doing something, so I gotta give this note, even if it's just like a bullshit note or whatever, and change this thing or make this like this way.
it's like pig vomit from Private Parts.
Don't know it.
You've never seen Howard Stern's movie Private Parts?
Oh, no, I haven't. I know what you're talking about now, though.
I just watched it over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So it's fresh in me.
But they
He's a
it's-
program coordinator for NBC, and he's always trying to tell like Howard Stern how to do his job. And he's like, "Look, I'm here because I am who I am,
Yeah.
and that's what people want." And he's like, "No, you got to do it my way." And he tries to censor him, all that stuff. And then at the end, he ends up getting him like almost fired. And he comes to his apartment to apologize, and he's like, "Hey man, whatever you want, we're a team now." And Howard's just like, "Yo, fuck you," and then slams the door in his face, and the guy gets fired. And then Howard Stern goes
It's
on to
happened a
make
million
billions
times.
of dollars.
Yeah, of course. No, that's
With Beetlejuice.
with Beetlejuice. Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that guy.
He's off the map
Yeah.
now. He's off the grid.
Well, I think it's just, it's so easy for people to do their own thing now.
Yeah.
Like you, for example.
Yeah.
You have this great fucking book. You're completely independent.
Yeah.
And there's not so if you can be successful off of this, people who work for these larger companies, what's the point of their job then? And I think they realize that.
Oh, well,
it makes them nervous.
There's other companies that are large that will put out material. I mean, this book is picked up it's being published by a company called Source Point Press. They're a legit comic book publisher. There's other publishers as well outside of Marvel and DC, the biggest one being Image Comics. Mm-hmm. They were founded by people that left Marvel Comics to make their own comic book company, to be their own publisher, to not have rules, to not have regulations, to not have editorial down their throat, and to make their own properties, which they own. And if you're a creator and you go there and they pick you up, you keep the rights to your own creations. So it's like the best deal in comics. That's literally their tagline. It's the best deal in comics. They take like a little bit off the top for, distribution and all that stuff. But you as the artist, you as the creator, you keep the rights to your materials. Like if you get a movie made, that's on you, your book sales are going to increase, you're going to make that money. But yeah, it can be done and it should be done. So
yeah,
fuck yeah.
No, that's a huge deal, because that's the only way you're going to be able to get people to sign on to your company at this point. And that's, because what I was just saying, I hate to repeat myself, but it's so easy for folks to become successful, like truly self-made people, you know, just on their art.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is like, you kind of have to be published by Marvel or DC in like the comic book world to be taken kind of seriously.
For right now,
there's people that have gone outside and never worked with them that are successful, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And would I, if Marvel approached me and asked me to do something, I would do it. Like I would do it just to do it.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't really have any more else to say about that, but like there's things I'd want to do. Like I want to go to DC and do a demon story.
Like is there like a particular demon, or is that like a character?
That's a character.
Which one?
That's his name.
Yeah, but which character is that?
The demon?
Yeah, is it that yellow guy?
He's got a yellow head, yeah.
And he's got like the blue cape and stuff.
He's got I think it's a red cape. No, he's got like a red suit.
Yeah.
And
he that guy's cool. I mean, you don't have to say it, but if you don't want to, but afterwards, I really want to hear your idea on that, because I agree that's an underutilized character.
Do you want to know why his head looks like that?
Why?
It's supposed to be a duck. It's supposed to be like a duck like skin as a mask.
What?
Yeah. That's why his ears look like funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And his horns aren't really supposed to be horns. They're supposed to be like the like butchered legs of the duck.
That's wild.
Yeah, I forgot. There's like a thing in like medieval times they would do that kind of stuff. They put like duck hides on their face for like masks and shit. Yeah, that's
okay.
So it actually like has roots in like, actual history.
Yeah, of course. Are there some other like underutilized characters that you'd like to see a little more done with?
And as far as like which publisher?
Either one, if you can think of any off the top of your head.
Well, I'll just tell you who my favorite characters are.
Okay, yeah.
If I got to work for Marvel, I'd want to do something with Cable, Ghost Rider. I like Cyclops a lot. Yeah. I know like a lot of people hate him, but I like him. I think he's sweet. But no, I'd probably want to do something like Ghost Rider, Cable, maybe Punisher.
Sure.
DC, like I said, I want to do something with the Demon, like especially. And that's kind of it for those two. I'm a big Turtles fan. I want to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to do a Turtles like cover at least.
Oh, yeah.
I got approached by one, and the guy kind of like dangled it over my head for a while, and I'm like, dude, just fucking let me do it. Like, stop trying to politic and like show me the money and let's do it. It just never happened, which sucks because that's like on my bucket list. I always want to do Spawn, obviously. Other than that, I'm not really too particular. Like I would, but those are like the characters I would like to get my hands on.
Yeah, they need to do a cool Ghost Rider story. I would love to see that.
I feel like they are. I mean, there's a lot of cool Ghost Rider stuff out right now, and the art is amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
I actually met the guy that wrote Ghost Rider in the 90s over the weekend because I did a Vengeance sketch. Do you remember who Vengeance is?
No.
He's kind of like, he's like the 90s Ghost Rider. So he's got like a spiky mohawk, and he's got like he's
Oh.
purple and he's like bigger.
Oh no, okay, yeah, I've never seen him before.
Either way, I did a drawing of him because no one does a drawing of him.
Yeah.
And I had the writer sign it, so I have like a book with that on there. It's
Oh,
pretty
that's sick.
Yeah.
That's got to be cool when people approach you with like maybe a character that isn't super popular, but like you really are into.
Yeah, I'm huge into that actually. Yeah. When does this come out?
This will come out tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So I can't tell you what I've got coming out next.
That's off-camera information.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome. I'll tell you that much. And that's something that's gonna come out in September. So you'll hear about it in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
We'll make sure people. I mean, we'll post
Yeah,
that. Like if you
definitely.
post something about it, we'll repost it when the time comes and all that.
Yeah.
And before we go any further, we should do the Who Would Win of the Week.
Okay.
Let's do it.
The Who Would Win of the Week this week is Darth Vader versus Batman. Look, we've had the Luke Skywalker Spider-Man conversation.
No, don't even bring it up yet. Let me.
No, Matthew. How about you let me? Because I get why you don't like to do Jedis in this, and Jedis are like.
I didn't say I didn't like to. I said I didn't know who's going to win because it's an obvious one.
No, you did say that you don't like to do Jedis.
Because watch,
who would win.
everybody. Let me just make a statement right now for everybody listening. Come January 1st, right, when we do the Who Would Win of the Week Tournament of Champions, Darth Vader will be at the very top of the list. There's not one person we fought yet this year. So we're in month 8 now.
The Instagram poll is going to decide that. But I think that Batman can do this, and I'll tell you the two reasons. One, because of Darth Vader's dependency on technology, and two, metachlorians.
Time out. Darth Vader's dependency on technology. Batman is not even a superhero without technology.
But he doesn't need it to live.
But he needs it to fight. He needs it to successfully fight.
I think Vader could win. Well, I think Vader could survive without technology. Because remember how like Kylo Ren got like hit in the gut and he was just like, like packing it back in with like the Force.
Yeah.
I feel like Vader could do that to his body on like a full body level because he's that strong. Yeah.
To me, Darth Vader's weakness is it's all mental, right? Like I feel like you can get in Darth Vader's kitchen. Batman is kind of like a mental midget. Like he lets everything get in his kitchen. Yeah.
But he never lets that affect his work. He's got problems. He's the Dark Knight. But he still gets the job done every single time. And who understands crazy mentalities better than Batman?
Right.
Every one of his villains is a psycho.
Can I narrow this down a little bit?
Please.
Okay. Does Batman get to use what it like?
He's got his whole belt.
That's it? Just the belt?
He doesn't have his. There's no mobiles or anything of that nature.
Because if you think about the Batman contingency plan that Batman can take down anyone with proper training, I mean, Vader can like destroy planets. Like,
thank you. Like this is my thing. So Batman has his belt. Batman has all his tricks, right?
Okay.
So
Go.
what is his? You're Batman.
Yes.
I'm Darth Vader.
Okay.
You have to attack me. What is your first play?
I'm gonna rebut everything that you said.
No, yeah,
Okay.
no, you go.
Batman.
Force choke, dead. Batman's dead.
Batman
Force choke, dead.
has dealt with
The Force? No, he has not.
with telekinetic people before.
Yeah,
he
but Vader
understands
senses.
superpowers. But Batman can find a way out of every scenario. And again, we know
Force-
we
Force
might not
choke.
like this. We might
How's
not
he
like
gonna-
this, but we do know that Force ability is dependent on metachlorians, which is a physical thing that you can measure in the blood. That's all Batman needs to know. He could so easily whip up something that renders the Force useless.
Lightsaber, chest.
Oh, you can't beat Batman with a lightsaber.
Oh,
Bro, I don't think Batman's winning this one.
dude, Batman had to re-engineer his suit because of a fucking dog.
Vader could like sense him wherever he is in the galaxy and just
not
drone
wherever he's in
strike
the
him with the
galaxy, I
fucking.
don't think.
He can just drone strike him.
And he
can
knows
just
where he
pinpoint a
fucking is.
freaking laser.
He
to
knows
him.
exactly where he is. The dumbass is in Gotham.
Yeah.
Actually, he's not, because Wayne Manor's not even fucking in Gotham.
Why is Vader want Batman, or why does Batman want Vader?
Batman wants Vader because Batman definitely wants Vader.
Yeah.
Batman wants Vader, but Batman isn't even on Vader's
Dude,
radar.
Batman couldn't take down Darkseid by himself, let alone fucking Vader. Yeah. Now that would be a good one.
Darkseid versus Vader.
Sure.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention. Darkseid
You
versus
should have
Vader.
thought of that.
Yeah, I should have, but I don't think.
But
who wins in that
Darkseid
one?
is. Oh wait, no, because of the Justice League stuff.
Who wins in that one?
God, that's really tough.
Right? I would give. I almost want to give that to Vader too.
I just have a hard
wonder.
time. I mean, when we talk about Jedis, like how can like I would say there's probably superheroes that could fight Jedis. The two that you have picked so far, like in our career of doing this podcast, are like the two most human.
Correction. Vader isn't a Jedi. He's a Sith Lord.
There you
Lord.
go. Yeah.
Sorry.
But someone with
With
force
the force
powers,
powers.
a force
yes.
user.
My apologies.
Check yourself.
Yeah, I need to check my lore.
I just think Batman could do it. He can handle basically
Willpower
any threat.
doesn't. No,
not willpower, but I mean the guy is super smart, and
he was born in the darkness.
yeah, exactly.
I got one for you. Man Bat or Man Wolf?
I think Man Bat. Because Man Bat's pretty strong too, and he's he can fly and stuff. Like he's vicious, he's wild. I think Man Bat maybe takes that one.
Lock in your answer right now for Batman versus Darth Vader.
I am picking Batman.
Stupid
Nope.
pick. Would you like to lock in your pick?
We'll let the cards
I'm
decide.
going Vader on
we'll
that
let the
one
cards
all day.
decide. But I think
Vader
Batman
all
can
day.
take him down. He'd throw some fucking thing and then
Force, choke. He'd rip his dick off. He'd do whatever he wanted.
And make him eat it.
Yeah, with the Force.
He's got a contingency.
He's got a
plan.
force
He's got a
frenzy.
dick. I bet you Batman for sure has a dick eating contingency plan. I can guarantee you that much.
Yeah, eat the dick.
That's a pot.
That's the plan.
Whatever.
Just get it over with.
Whatever.
Plug your nose, buddy. Plug your nose and just chew quick. It's Vader all day long. Batman cannot. I love Batman as a superhero, and I think the people that he fights are like perfect for him to fight. But he could never take down Darth Vader. Lock that in. 2-1 Vader over Batman. Andrew, stupid pick again. Andrew makes these picks based off of like he has no integrity for the game. Vote
That's
on
not
that on
true.
Instagram
That's not
on
true.
Friday.
I
Who would
voted
win
for
of the
Tommy
week?
Pickles one time, and that was a mistake.
Gun to your head. You're
Versus
still
who?
taking Batman?
Yes.
That's stupid. You died. You've been
Tommy
shot.
Pickles versus Batman?
No, it was Tommy. We did Tommy Pickles versus Maggie Simpson.
Ooh.
It's Maggie Simpson all day long.
And I will admit I was incorrect on that one upon further review.
Ooh. Was
Watching
it
the
you guys that
replay-
were talking about Seinfeld versus John Mulaney?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That was
That's
last
a tough
week when
one.
we did.
Yeah.
I think I would go Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But John Mulaney looks like he could fly off the handle and accidentally kill someone.
But that's
what I
like in a
was
fit
saying.
of rage.
That is the thing. But
That
we
he's
said
got the rage
John-
factor.
It's a sober John Mulaney. There's no
Oh,
drugs involved.
I'm giving it to Seinfeld then.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's going to be kicking him with the white sneakers and everything. I like it.
Power
of the mullet.
So before we started the Who of the Week, you talked a little bit about, maybe some upcoming things that is off-camera stuff for now. As far as, the Tuff Stuff books, everything that you've got going on, that is already public, where can people go to find that?
Right. Tuff Stuff can be ordered from any comic book shop in America and I believe in Canada right now. Pre-order it now. The cutoff date for pre-orders is September 26th, I want to say. And then it's in stores October 19th. And then outside of that, I will be at Baltimore Comic-Con October 28th through the 30th. That's a big one. Excuse me. And, that's go to your local comic book shop and pre-order through them.
Have you been to the Baltimore Con before?
Yeah, I went last year.
How many cons do you go to a year?
Dude, I was planning on doing 4 this year,
Yeah.
and I'm probably up towards like 12 at this point.
Fucking
And I
A, dude.
turned down going C2E2 this week.
What's that?
It's a big one in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's real big. Actually, what's crazy is I believe Tuff Stuff got announced at San Diego Comic-Con.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool talking with you, dude. We appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
It's
This was probably the nerdiest podcast you've had so far.
yeah, but I like it. Well, you should have seen.
I
did
feel
this
like we
one-
held back too.
I think we did a little bit because we had our pal Mark Zastro on once, and he's a big comic
Mark can get
collector.
nerdy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Matthew was like, I gotta get out of here. He was like, I don't want to hear this shit.
No, that's
so we
not
had to
true at
cram
all.
a bunch of
We
comic
were at-
book stuff
no.
into like the last 5 minutes. It was
No.
just Mark and I.
And
Like,
that's actually
going back
not
and
how
forth.
it went.
I'm pretty
It
sure
was-
that's exactly. Let's
it
watch
was-
the tape.
We can watch the tape. You know, somebody has to be responsible on this show. Emily has no voice, rightfully so, but like she just sits there and does whatever you say. You could go forever. Like if there was nobody here that took control of situations, we'd be recording this podcast for like 13 hours a day.
And I think that would be a great show. I think that people would like that.
For a 13
Well,
hour
maybe
pod.
not 13 hours, but I mean,
And
11
you're the
or
one that has to
12,
edit
11
it.
or
Well,
12.
Emily, you're at, now
Yeah,
it's
Emily.
actually coming
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
Emily.
Yeah.
So you're putting her in the hole again. She would have to sit here for 13 hours in that chair and then sit there for another 13 hours and listen to exactly what she just listened
Well,
to.
we'd get different chairs then.
What if you had to pee? Just go.
Bottle.
Yeah, just go.
No, we'd have
Go.
bottles.
Little
On deck.
spittoon.
Yeah.
We'd set up.
Oh.
You know what we do? We
Diapers.
build a trough under that goes under the table.
We'd go diapers.
Dude, I saw a person in the trough at the Pink once.
no, see,
passed
that's.
out.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen.
Where, like, there's fate's worse than death, and that's it.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people take urinal shots at different places.
Oh, why?
Because they're absolute degenerate humans, and it's
Like,
hysterical to watch. And I will tell somebody 10 out of 10 times to do it. I will never even go close to it.
The
but-
ookie cookie.
Listen.
Yo,
That's- No, I've never seen anybody do that, and I hope to never see anybody do that. What I will say though is I love listening to people talk about like comic style like superheroes and stuff like that because I think it is so much more interesting than just watching movies. I think you learn so much more and there's so many different stories, and I like when people have all that knowledge in their brain. There's no way that I could physically ever like commit myself to learning something like that. I wish I could. Like I love, you know, even when you made that comment about Darth Vader, like I love when people know like all the stuff. you know?
yeah.
Like when they know all the information about, you know, universes and people and things that I've never even heard of. I think it's fascinating to listen to. I don't even know where I would begin to try to start learning that information. I don't think my brain could ever retain it.
You get into it and you like, you pick stuff up. Especially now, it's easy. Like, you read a comic and there's like some character makes a reference to something. You go, oh, what is that? And you can find out. Excuse me, really easily.
But that's why I openly admit too that I'm the worst movie critic ever. Because like I'll sit there and watch any movie and I'm like, yeah, that was a good movie. Like
Yeah,
I sat
that's
there for
true.
2 hours and I watched. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
And everybody, I'm like Andrew's the same way. I'm sure you would be. You're like, I mean, it's not correct at all. And I'm like, well, I just enjoy. When we saw Batman versus Superman, it was in a theater at Disney Springs, and we were with some of our friends.
Yeah, we were in Orlando.
And I walked out of the theater, and everybody was standing there, and I was like, oh, I thought that was a really good movie. And every single person got so pissed at me.
I liked it.
But apparently it wasn't as accurate as some had hoped. And I was like, I don't fucking know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I just like to hear people that are passionate about things, like describe whatever. I mean, I don't like golf, but I feel like if someone was like really enthusiastic about it, I'm like, I could listen to like a 12-hour podcast about golf if
Yeah.
it was presented properly.
yeah.
See, I love golf, and I could definitely listen to a 12-hour podcast about golf.
Can I throw a shameless plug in there as far as
like, no, that's what we're getting to as we wrap up here. Plug everything you've got,
All right.
where people can, find you online, stuff like that.
Yeah. So as far as my next upcoming thing, I can tell you the date. It hold on, let me just double check so I don't say the wrong thing because I'm known to do that because I'm got so much going on. Okay, and this might give it away too. September 7th, I have a new cover coming out for a new comic, and it's fucking huge. So Follow me on Instagram or wherever your social media desires take you. But yeah, September 7th, big comic book drop that day. It's a big comic. It's coming out of Image Comics. I'm not going to say the title, but if you look up the day and what's coming out, you'll pretty much figure out what it is. And it's a conjunction between my local shop, a shop out in Toronto, and a shop in New York. So we all put our forces together to do this book. It's the biggest print run I've done for a variant cover. We expect it to be a big hit, which I think it is. The creative team is amazing. And then, like I said, Tuff Stuff will be in shops October 19th. Please pick that up. We need to make this a hit so I can keep making these. I've got plans. It's an awesome property. The artwork is amazing. It's funny as shit. You probably die reading it because it's so amazing and your eyeballs rot out or something. And it makes you feel happy afterwards, after all that too. Instagram is solstice_art. Facebook is Delgado Kevin. I got robbed of my internet, media handles, so that's kind of what happened with that. If you're on Twitter, I'm Frigid Giant, capital F, capital G, and that's pretty much it as far as socials go.
And all that stuff will be tagged.
Yeah, we'll put it in
the show description.
We'll do all
so
the
you
links
can find
and
that
stuff.
there. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a blast, and this stuff is so awesome.
Yeah, and if you get the book and you have a cat, send me a picture of your cat with the book, and I'll repost it because that's amazing. People think I have cats. I don't. I'm a dog guy.
Love dogs. I like cats, too. We had cats. Hold that up for us one more time, Andy. It looks great.
Yeah, man. It's honestly been a little distracting sitting here with these on the table because I've been looking at them the whole time. But you nailed it as far as
go if you can go right. Yeah, if you can go
at.
right down the center. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Oh yeah, look at that.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Hungover kitty in jail. That's what
Goes
cats
to
do,
rehab.
right?
Yeah, that's exactly what they do.
They go to jail. My kid said that to me one time. He was being bad. He was real little. And I had to discipline him. And he was crying. He's like, "You're a bad man. You go to jail."
At least he knows that bad people go to jail. But seriously, thank you so much for coming on. Check this stuff out. It'll all be linked. Andrew, again, horrible Who Would Win the Week pick. Emily absolutely battling behind us to get this episode finished. I don't give Emily high praises very often, but shout out to Emily. And it was awesome meeting you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, Emily. You're the real MVP here.
Thank you. Yeah, some would say.
Yeah, we appreciate you, pal. Thanks for coming on.
Andy, I love you.
I love you too, kid. Thanks, folks. Let's get out of here.